What's up, everyone? This is Big Poner. I'm addicted to crafting, and you guys will get to learn a lot because of that. This is kind of a random crafting. As you guys know, I have a really nice bow, but I'm always trying to craft better and better stuff, just because I enjoy that. Um, so, what I wound up with, and what video is going to be covering, is a new way to create a 6-stat item. Um, this guy was trying to like basically scam. So I traded someone else. Now he's trying to get the trade. Um, but that's not gonna happen. I will just trade to someone else. I ain't dealing with those types of people. Let's put on D&D. I don't want to talk to you, dude. Um, anyways, what I've done is I created a 3-stat item by doing the old method of scour, um, chance orb or transmute orb, and then alteration orbing until I wound up with 2 stats that I wanted, and then I used a regal and wound up with a 3-stat item. So I have 2 really good stats on this, which is a tier 1 flat physical and a tier 1 critical strike chance. As you can see, these are already near perfect rolls. I took and bought a bunch of divine orbs and divined it until it was near perfect. The reason why I do this is because it is much easier to get 2 stats to near perfect than it is to have all of the stats on the item and then try to make all of the stats together perfect. And you also have to consider what it is that we're crafting on. So for this method that I'm going to be using, we're not going to be doing the old method, because what could I do right now? I could take and I could put on can have multiple crafted modifiers, and then I could craft on 2 things that I want. And that would guarantee that I have 2 stats that I want. That's an option for this. However, I have 2 prefixes, 1 suffix on the item, which makes it so that I can block and choose to only roll a suffix, which in this case winds up being a really good set of rolls with one of the orbs, the warlords. In the suffix, it can only roll Culling Strike, Dual Mod Maim with increased physical damage, gain phasing for 4 seconds on kill, or skills fire an additional projectile. So crafting on one modifier that I want, I'm crafted this on as a block stat. I'm probably going to wind up trying to perfect roll the 130% physical. We're going to see what I wind up with though first. So what I've done is I've crafted on a prefix because I know I have to have a percentage physical roll in order for this weapon to be good. So I want to block that. I definitely can't let something else wind up in that spot. So I've blocked that prefix so that I'm definitely not going to wind up ruining the weapon. But all of those stats are all good. Having Culling Strike on this would be amazing. Having the dual stat Maim with percentage increased physical would be amazing. The skills fire an additional projectile. That would be dope. Phasing is the least desirable one, honestly, but still having phasing it would be really nice. And the thing is the way that I'm going to be doing this, I'm basically guaranteeing I get one of these stats. I'm crafting on 1 stat, so I already have 2 stats, and then I'm going to have another open spot that I can do a Exalt Slam, and then I'm going to have a 6-stat item, and that 6-stat is going to be just a bonus. So we're going to hope that we get lucky, but let's go ahead and craft this item. Alright, so I got the worst case scenario, but that is still good. And now we are going to finish it with an Exalted Orb Slam. I hope I get attack speed. I got lightning resistance. So this kind of wound up as like a worst case scenario. But it could have wound up way better. Is it a little bit of gambling? Yes, but it's smart gambling. And still, this item's worth more than I invested in it, so not a big loss. Anyways, I mean, it's kind of good that I didn't wind up with an absolute best scenario, because the thing is, you know, I don't want to give an unrealistic idea. Like I said, I told you the best and the worst possibilities for this item. Now, I'm probably going to sell it because my hope was to make an item that was better than the one that I have, which is nearly impossible. But this is still a really strong this is still a really strong weapon. And how much is it that I spent? I spent one exalted orb on the regular exalted orb slam, and I spent like 1.7 on the influence orb. So I have probably a total of like 3 exalts into this. And then I got the bow as a guaranteed recipe through the Imperial Legacy. So and you also have to consider, right now this is a 346 DPS weapon with a +1 to bow skills, and it has a 24% implicit, and I can add another 28% increased physical damage. So this is still a really, really strong weapon. Obviously, I'm not going to move forward with, a bad item. I'm not going to go to this process. And it has the bonus of giving phasing on kill. Um, so it's still a pretty nice weapon. Someone will buy it. I can definitely sell it for more than 3 Exalted Orbs. Um, so I'm going to make a little bit of profit. Could it have wound up being super, super amazing doing this? Yes, I actually had a really good chance of making this, like, absolutely amazing. The Exalted Orb was just completely random to have a 6 stat on it instead of it being a 5 stat item. But it could have wound up amazing, and I had a pretty good chance of that. Just on the Warlord Slam, I had 1 on the Coaling, 3 on the dual mod, 1 for the additional projectile, that's 5. Phasing had 3. So I had like a 60-70% chance of getting, one of the really desirable stats. So it was a smart gamble. It didn't turn out the best for me, which you have to understand sometimes it's going to work out that way. And my Exalted Orb Slam was basically a complete gamble. But the reason why I put the Warlords on it first is because all those remaining Warlord stats are things that I wanted. So if I hit one of those, that would have wind up resulting in, an uber good item. It didn't. I wound up with a resistance on it, which, sucks. But it would have been an empty slot on the item instead of having something there. It would have been can have crafted multiple modifiers, which is way less desirable than having anything there. Anyways, I hope that this video gives you guys some ideas for some crafting methods. Thanks for watching. Peace.